Okay, testing, check 1 2. Check and see if it's cool on the stream itself as far as sound. Okay, testing, check 1 2. Okay. All right, we are good. Let me get rid of the timer here. All right, we are good to go. Hope everybody's doing well today. Hopefully everybody's beginning of the week has been kind to you for the most part. As you know, we are walking into a new week, which it is indeed the 1st of November, and is actually also my job anniversary. My job's my 12th year there as of today. Never would have thought that would have went by so fast, but that's neither here nor there. And work kicked my butt today, but we're not going to dive into that. We're going to talk about Tales of the Jedi, the first 3 episodes. For those who may pop in, if you're watching this stream later, you can definitely chime in, leave some comments, let me know your thoughts for the first 3. I just didn't have enough time to get screenshots for episodes 4, 5, and 6. I'll be doing that probably later this week, because tomorrow I get up at roughly 2:20 a.m. to basically prepare to get ready to do a live stream watch party here on the channel of us watching Andor episode 9. That I can't wait to watch. And as always, these streams will heart-wrenching be centered on whether or not people dive into the comments. So it all depends how long this stream can go. This stream can literally go a half hour if nobody shows up, and go longer if people do indeed pop into the comments to share their views, their thoughts with these first 3 episodes, and just the episodes in general. We can still talk about the 6, but I specifically was only able to have time to get screenshots for episodes 1, 2, and 3 specifically. I just didn't have enough time. I had to go to work. Had to do life. But with enough of my rambling, let's dive into this. And like I said, if anybody pops in, we'll go from there. It's just all depending on if people show up during the stream. And I didn't even have enough time to do what I did with the Andor stuff, which I'm still going to try to do with Andor. With how I put the images together at the time. But I'm just taking specific stuff. So episode 1 was definitely it was a good one. I enjoyed episode 1 with Pofty, with hold on, let me get rid of my face and fix that. There we go. Her mother, like the village itself, like I talked about it briefly in the one video from, I believe it was last week. Where like the village itself was just like beautiful. It was dope. It just seemed more peaceful than anything per episode 1. You want to say that this is Pops, this is Dad chilling, working on working on the house and stuff like that. And I definitely like the fact that they did incorporate, if I can find it. Yeah, here it goes. They incorporated a droid here. If you look to the right of the image, you can see the droid here walking by. I think they showed the droid twice, if I remember, specifically in their village. but that, that's what stood out to me, as well as the fact that like her mom was like walking from where she was walking at the time with her at the middle of the screen here in episode 1. And I also liked, the basically the chiefess of the village. She definitely was kind spirited. She kept feeding the pets what looks like popcorn, but more than likely wasn't. It just looks like popcorn. But she just kept feeding them, and I enjoyed that. But I definitely like the fact that how they kept focusing on them speaking the language of their village at the time here in episode 1. And the fact that mom was going out to hunt, and they talked about, I want to say that when they put heads together, her and the village leader here, that they were basically like praying for a safe journey to and back, protection as well, because she just put the markings on their heads. I did enjoy that as well, and I also love that I don't specifically remember what these are called, because many places have them where they specific, like, not flowers, but whatever they're called, when you hit them, they just like spray out like that. I love that this was more so for baby Ahsoka, to just enjoy the moment, just to be in the moment while with her mother at the time. And then of course the main goal was to, of course, go out and go hunting. But of course that we know that per the trailer that's not the full case of why this episode was the way that it went, because we had this specific tiger-like creature out hungry, and they decided to come after Ahsoka and her mom. And I definitely want to say that her mom was definitely like super mom. Like, she just like stood out, tried her best to protect Ahsoka as best as possible. And the funny thing about Ahsoka is that she was just like laughing the whole time until mom got knocked down. But funny enough though, like, mom got hit hard, she got hurt, but like per the the 3 shots that she shot at the animal itself, I don't think I have a close up besides here once the actual villagers came to save her, because this is them plus her husband shooting at it before it takes Ahsoka off, that there wasn't any damage to her. Perhaps that could be possibly possibly Disney like censoring that at least, but you would think they would probably censor the animal being damaged too. So that's just another thing, because like I said, from what I can tell, I don't think they showed mom having any damage to her. But it's not that big of a deal though. But once they get here and save her, you were just wondering, like, is Ahsoka gonna be okay? And I don't know about these images, because on my end, the images, I can't fix the, I want to say, like, the visual of the images themselves, like brighten the screen or anything like that, because there are specific spots on these images that are dark, but they shouldn't be that dark. But on my end, I can't fix it unless I can be able to look it up and try to see if I can. But I do like how Ahsoka was calm when the creature took her where it was residing at the time. But of course, she was crying when she got taken away. the usual stuff, baby crying, how she did, and then she was calmer though. Could have been the Force, could have been some other stuff. I want to say it's the Force, kind of like keeping her heart calm in these moments of it, of her being here. General Kenobi. What's going on, the General Grievous 19? How are you today? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, as you can see per the image, like I said, I can't fix the brightness of these images from my end, just because my crappy laptop and stuff when I was taking these screenshots. But once Ahsoka did what she did, was it here? That's the same image. Where are you? I don't think I got the... It was almost here. Like, it came up to her. I tried to get the screenshot of her touching its nose, but I couldn't. It was too quick. But anyway, once she did that, that's when you knew, like, okay, Ahsoka got into like the Force helped calm the area, calm the atmosphere, calm this scene here to where she was actually able to get on the back of the line, and then it taking her back home, which was really, really cool. But of course, any parent would be, well, I can't say any parent, but most parents, or many parents would be, like this, having the support of the village, taking her from, they literally banding together. Like it's crazy, like how time had moved forward and it was nighttime. Like, it was still daytime at the time that all of this occurred, and then they by the time we get to this moment here, it's nighttime. So it kind of made me wonder, like, did an hour go by, 2 hours, 3 hours? What was the actual initial response? Like, I think here in episode 1, I felt like they could have possibly shown a quicker scene of them talking about, because you don't need to have a scene drag out specifically here, but I kind of felt like that. I wish that they would have given us a small scene, roughly 30 seconds, 20 seconds of them talking about, like, all right, this is what we need to do, grab the weapons, figure out where it could have possibly went to, and then go start searching. But that's just my small, very, very small, but not big deal critique of this episode for how they were going to go about it, just because it just feels more like it was the morning time when she decided, when Mom decided to take Ahsoka out. But it could have been late afternoon or early evening at the time when she decided to leave the house to go hunting. And then, of course, when they decide to actually go and go searching for Ahsoka, that's when it's nighttime, and now they're coming here. We get here to Ahsoka being brought back. So that's just like my initial thoughts on this specific scene. But I'm just glad again that basically almost the entire village was ready to go out gung-ho for for a baby Ahsoka, which was great. I just love that. But once it brings Ahsoka back, that's when we're just sitting here just like, yo, what's going on this specific scene. Just want to make sure that it's sound is cool. And I also like this spot here. It, like, the the tiger creature, it like stood at its full height. I want to say, like, I felt like as in like a honors type of thing. That's how I viewed it. Like when I saw this, I was like, I felt like this was like more like, I brought your daughter back. Not saying like it's asking them to, asking the mother to worship it or anything like that. But I just felt like, like I could have done more. But I'm bringing your daughter back, and hope that you're grateful that I did. She of course says what she says in their language, and then it goes off. It decides to leave. And then of course that's when the villager talks about Ahsoka being a Jedi, and we also get precious Ahsoka. I have it here per the screenshot. Starting to get sleepy. I thought I had the image of her like dozing. I don't, but it's okay. But she did. She started to get sleepy a little bit before the actual thing decided to disperse into the end and the credits. So episode 1 was just like pretty straightforward, taking, seeing, basically having Ahsoka being born, see the villagers. She had grown a year. Take her out to hunt with mom, going hunting, almost getting the one deer-like animal, then the tiger-like animal coming in, setting that up. We get a chance to see Ahsoka do her thing through the forest, touching the nose, calming the animal, and then having the animal bring it back home, and bringing peace to mom's heart, Popti's heart. And that's pretty much the close. So all in all, it's not like the episode was just like mind-blowingly great. It was good, and it was still a beautiful episode that I really enjoyed at the end. Once it finalized, just like like, man, like we get that really, really quickly. And then we dive into episode 2. Now, I talked about episode 2 today, actually. I thought I got a screenshot of that's what I was trying to do too. Talk about the, here it is. Because I forgot the title of Life and Death was episode 1. Episode 2 is called Justice. Got the screenshot here. And this episode with Dooku was just like, and Qui-Gon was just like, man, let me tell you. I thought actually, let me see, here we go. I don't think they gave the name of the planet though. I don't think they did. Looks like I have some beautiful water there, right? But once they get here, they're having the conversation. I just love that we get a chance to see young Qui-Gon, young, a little bit younger Dooku here. They're on a mission to try to work things out in this specific village, this sector of the galaxy. And it's all about the master being wise, and still in the middle of training the Padawan, which I still just enjoyed just seeing them together. I love the like how the mountains, the fog and stuff here specifically was just dope to see once they were finalizing their land as they were landing. But once they get here, you kind of get a gist of what's really going on once they arrive here. Even just the outside, just the background stuff's just all discombobulated in the section of this planet. It's probably more so spread out to not just this area, not just this village here, this town, should I say. And you know, Qui-Gon and Qui-Gon and Dooku are just like scanning, looking. Then we get the dog popping up. There was a droid. Looked like there was a droid at almost every door, but I could be wrong because there's a droid here on in the image here. But the dog pops up, barking at them, and then it goes back, and then we get the very brief moment with the lady here, who's gonna end up showing up later in the episode. Where is she? Where are you? Because Anakin, Qui-Gon tried to talk to her, but she closed the door. But she pops up again once they go by. And also like that other people were looking at them through the windows. And I want to say that the people that were looking at them through the windows actually showed up at the like the little bar that they went to. At least a few of them went to. Yeah, here she goes. She pops up again once they go by, and she like opens the door and closes it. But she's the cause of what's to come, basically. And this stuff here was from the trailer when they walked into this little bar. When they walked in, then they're having a conversation. But with that, we get other characters. I want to say a couple of them may have been in the homes and then they came to the bar instead, but I could be wrong. Just could be just family members or something. And then they sit down, Dooku sits down, they talk about, this is our intentions, we're looking here to help. And, that's when we get them talking about the kidnappers, them being the kidnappers. They all stand up as if they're ready to fight, like they were going to probably do something. I think I have that. I could be wrong. Then that's when they take them to the barn. I want to say this is a barn, but technically no, it's not a barn, it's a house. It just has I'm thinking about it. It was like a house barn, I think. It's a barn at the bottom of the building here. And they go in here. Of course, you got to have a droid, right? I forgot the name of the droid. They were talking about how it was being protective and stuff like that. But then we found out that the son is being, of course, like I said, the son is the one that's being being the captive by the villagers because they want their senator to basically, meet their demands. And what are their demands? We found out that, the lady who was the lady that was at the beginning of the episode, she's coming up. She's just like, you could tell she's like, she hasn't drank so much, she hasn't ate in days. The other lady, I want to say that they were related, though. They kind of look, to be honest, these two kind of look like they're related, but they don't say specifically if they are or not. But I feel like they're related. That's just what I feel. But she's basically telling them, like, they're hungry. They're hungry. That's why they're doing this. Basically, they're just folding instead of being on our side and wanting to get the town the appropriate resources that they need to live healthy, and get the town rebuilt back up and stuff. So, but I don't know, not did. But once the senator decides he wants to do what he wants to do, these are his people, but he doesn't care because he's all about that power. It's just like, man. And Dooku, I just loved like how he was just like he wasn't with it. He automatically lit his lightsaber kind of quicker than Qui-Gon did, because I felt like Qui-Gon was hesitant. More so because he's, a Padawan and stuff like that. But I just feel like Dooku was doing his best to look to, and I actually like how the villagers are, I want to say, a few feet away from them, just in case if they needed to hide away while they're, while they are possibly in the midst of possibly getting ready to get into a shootout of a gunfight and stuff like that. And these cats, they're just like getting ready to make it happen. I still like the fog. I was just like still setting in the surroundings of where they are. But again, once things go down, that's when it gets too real. Dooku being the master of Form 2, doing his thing, and Qui-Gon trying his best to protect people until, again, like I said, once it goes down, things get real. People get, villagers get hurt more than the senator side of things. And Dooku, he looks, where are you? Where's the image? He looks and sees, he assesses the surroundings, and he's just like, this is enough. And I find it interesting that he allows the senator to even say anything extra. Maybe Dooku was assessing things a little bit more before he decided to do what he wanted to do. But you can tell in his face that he was upset. Like he just didn't like what was going on. But like I said, I found it interesting that Dooku didn't start to use the Force choke until the senator started to speak, roughly 30 seconds into his speech, 35 seconds. And then that's when we get this here as he's talking. And then that's when we get literally one of my favorite scenes of these 6 shorts, when he decides to do the Force choke. And I'm like, there it go. Reminds us of somebody specific in the Empire. But I also like that he, we got a chance to see Dooku use the force push. I want to say 2 times. He used it on 3 times. He used it on the senator side, and then he used it on Qui-Gon. But again, the Force choke itself is like the highlight of the episode. Dooku's anger, his rage, he's allowing it to fuel him to use this. But Qui-Gon, because he got pushed back, he decides to go towards the sun to say, hey, you need to kind of de-escalate this. But in my mind, I'm thinking, Qui-Gon could have possibly put the sun in danger as well. But who knows what Dooku would have done or what else Dooku would have done had Qui-Gon hadn't come out after he sent the sun out. Because, people react, and then other stuff could have happened, and Dooku's-san could have gotten in the range of being force choked as well, whatever, force push or whatever out the way. But specifically here, when Dooku is telling him, like, you know, enough is enough, like, I'm tired of this, you're not getting away with blah blah blah, and he like he extra force chokes the senator here, was just like, I was just like, yo, son, he's getting ready to take your boy out, like, it's a wrap, it's over. Senator had like at least 5 more extra seconds, to be honest, before, you know, the sun came through to do what he did, to try to stop and save his dad. And of course, like I said, Qui-Gon coming through. So it was a combination of the sun plus Qui-Gon. So, but again, I feel like Dooku could have probably force pushed or even force choked the sun. I want to say he would force push him though, out the way, and then Pops the senator would have been a wrap. And you know, that was, you know, just like, man, like, yo, like, son, it was about to go down, all the way down. So that was pretty much episode 2, Justice. And then we dive into episode 3. I think I have, yes I do. Episode 3 was titled Choices. What an episode. Another Dooku episode, which I loved a lot. Where once again, they're coming from where they're coming from, through lights, you know, through light speed. They arrive, they're landing on this other planet. Him and Dooku and Mace having specific conversations about, you know, the reasons why we're here, questioning things. You know, Dooku was questioning some stuff, and you know, Mace, like, I just felt like, you know, Dooku would follow the orders, but he would still question. Mace is just like, hey, like, you know, we still got to be by the book. You know, he has that discussion with him at the end of the episode too, but you know, they're having specific conversations about stuff, and Dooku's questioning and wondering why that third happening. But you could definitely see the differences in the different mindsets of how both of these Jedi Masters think and flow in the episode. But again, ultimately, you know, the goal is to investigate stuff. I did like the scenery of the planet that they landed on. Of course, the buildings. There's so many buildings and stuff that they have within the Star Wars world. You're just looking just like, man, like, that building looks dope. Let's see. Of course, the ships, with how the ship lands. I always like to see how specific ships, how they fly off and how they land. I get intrigued by how that looks. I got intrigued by that with the few Star Wars movies that we know and love. But once they get here and, you know, they're just like, you know, meet and greet, you know, basically, because they're investigating, you know, this Jedi Master's, you know, untimely death, right? I do like how they are dressed here, how they look. I really, really do how they look. Get another reply from one of my videos. But you could tell something was up. And even so, once we get into the building and they're having the discussions, you could just tell something just was wrong about the whole situation. And they're conversating with your boy here, talking to him, trying to figure out why, the Jedi Master had passed away. But as always, me personally, I am a lover of a library. I find it interesting that the library books in here are like the color blue in the background here on the side. Interesting enough that they don't have any key lighting. Well, there's key lighting, but it's like they don't have. They're just using the sun to light up the room itself. So I found that interesting that they do that. I like the picture in the background too. I wanted to mention that. I believe my homie Grand Admiral Thrawn would love that artwork. But again, as we're seeing them conversate and stuff, you can tell there's specific things. And then, of course, Dooku and Qui-Gon again apologize for the way that the image looks here, because on my end I can't fix the brightness of these images. But they have a specific conversation. And again, they're just Dooku just questioning things, and Mace is like, well, Mace is definitely, to be honest, Mace is by the book. But I feel like Mace is more like by the book as long as it's logical. That's just how I'm thinking for Mace. Once they go to the area, they get there, they arrive, and they're assessing the area. Where are you? Yeah, they give us the shot of the area where all the blaster fire was at. And Mace and Dooku are doing more of the closer analysis of the area itself. I know that they looked, I think I have the image here. Yeah, they looked at the rocks here. That was damaged as well. And they looked at each other and they were just like, something seems off. But even before they even look at the ship, as you see in this image here, you can tell, you're just like, yo, like, their ship isn't even like, their ship isn't even damaged. If they're specifically saying, like, we caught shots were fired at in a specific way, and in the midst of them, doing that, we definitely see somebody up here in the left corner. You can't really see them, but they're in the left corner of this image here. Somebody was looking on as they're doing their investigation. They just had somebody plan it. They're like, yeah, blah blah blah. And once Dooku says what he says to your boy, and then that's when, yeah. And just like in episode 2, Dooku lights his lightsaber quickly. Because you're going to tell me the truth. Windu's like, stand down. And then that's when your boy, he couldn't hold the lion any longer. He had to let it out. He said, man, they shot. They did it. They shot first. Like Han did. And I really love how Dooku let me see if I have. I don't think I do. Yeah, your boy went down. It was a wrap for him. But like how Dooku was just like flowing, and he flows with how well he masters how he's a master at his at the form that he uses. One hand, like, just like, I don't know, guys. It's like an art to how Dooku just like does his thing compared to Mace. Mace seems like more. He's more of like, if I need to jump and flip and stuff like that, this is what I'm gonna do. While Dooku, he's just more like of a classic, sort of like, I want to say like, I don't want to. I feel like I want to say ballerina style flow to how he flowed with his lightsaber and using the Force. It was just dope. Like, and he would just like spin, and where he spun, how he spun, and where he spun, to be able to do stuff and use the Force, like on these droids, and even in episode 2. And it was even how he cut this tree, like he spun to block, and then did another spin to where he cut the tree, and then he landed in such a position where he was able to actually just use the Force to push the tree right after he cut it, after he did the spin, the Force push it. Like, it was just dope, man. And then eventually he was able to catch, Mace caught them, and then your boy, he was talking about them, being puppets, and of course he gets taken out because he tried to hurt Mace, but he blocks it, deflects it right back at him, and takes him out. It was just pure, like, just like everything just like flowed in a specific direction. But then when they have the conversation with your homie here, yeah, he brings up more in depth of, the Jedi being used. They don't really they don't realize that they're being used. They're just puppets. And there's a specific gong in the episode that once he looks in Mace's direction, in Dooku's direction, Dooku had this look on his face. He looked down because he's pondering what he's saying, questioning what he's saying. And, Mace is saying what he's saying. Like, well, why didn't you take this information to so-and-so? And that, again, like I said, that's when he talks about the real stuff, to where Dooku starts to really think. And he looks at him before looking at Mace. And then we get back at the prison, which I also love. When we're here at the prison, and him and the guy are talking, and he questions as to why he did what he did. I love that, Dooku was just like, even though I don't agree with how you did it, I at least respect you for at least wanting to protect your people, because that's Dooku's mindset as well. He wants to protect, people from hurt and harm. But he's gradually not agreeing to how the Jedi are handling things. And I feel like Mace's responses to Dooku is what also is having Dooku have the mindset of this stuff just does not compute with me. It continues to just not do this in my mind. It's just, I don't understand why, the Jedi are saying one thing, but they're doing something totally different. I'm not understanding it, even though Mace brings up the ego mindset to Dooku, because I feel like he's pointing that in the direction of Dooku a little bit, even if it's just a little bit. But you know, I definitely like this shot here because they're getting ready to do the funeral. And of course, just sad, you know. It's just really sad. And Yoda there, all, you know, just like, man. Another Jedi gone. Maybe you know, maybe this Jedi became a Force ghost. Maybe. I'd have to look that up because I'm not sure currently. But I do like the lighting that goes up in the air. And Windu and Dooku are like literally placed. I like this part here where they're literally placed where they are, because it literally gives them the thing. You know, you have the light on Dooku's end, then you have the light on, like I said, they're literally perfectly placed between him and Mace. And they both, you know, they both look at each other here in this spot before they go outside to have a specific conversation about a specific council seat. I love how Dooku was just looking out there, though. He was just like pondering stuff and wondering. I feel like the wheels are continuously turning on Dooku, just like, man, like I just need to make up in my mind that, you know, the Jedi just are not what I want, what I thought that they were gonna be about, and this, that, and the third. And, you know, yeah. And then him and Mace have that conversation about the seat. And Mace is right. I feel like he's being honest with him. He's not saying like, because I think Dooku probably was just like questioning, like, well, maybe this was a setup. Maybe send this Jedi Master off to die to get him out the way so that I can, you know, Dooku, Mace could get the seat. But I honestly believe that, you know, that Mace is being honest with him. Like, I was on a mission with you. We went out together. By the time I got back, I was just as shocked as them to offer me this seat on the console. But I like how Dooku, you know, his response to Mace is like, it's a little bit aggressive with how he says, you know, Master Jedi. Like, it was just the way that he said it. Even though I don't think Mace questioned the tone, but you could tell it's just like, yo, like, this was an aggressive response before he decided to finally turn around and look back out into the yonder. So yeah, these are the 3 episodes. These are the images that I got. I wish I'd been able to put this stuff together a little bit better for the stream, but hopefully episodes 4, 5, and 6, when I do a live stream, those ones we will definitely hopefully will have better. But it all depends, because again, you know, episode 9 is tomorrow. Doing the live watch party tomorrow, because, you know, we really gotta, you know, make it happen. And once it ends, I gotta be quick, because, you know, it's super early in the morning. It all depends on how long the episode is and how much time I have left after the episode, because I gotta get right into putting a video together, just even if it's just the first video, so that I can prepare to you know, go to work, because I gotta go to work. I leave the house at 4:30 to catch a bus to go to work. So I don't drive. Otherwise, if I had a car and drove to work, I would at least have an extra 15-20 minutes to really work on the video, or work on more than one. But these 3 episodes really done well with Tales of the Jedi. Really enjoyed these episodes. I love them a lot, and including episodes 4, 5, and 6. But Dooku stood out the most, even though I did indeed love Ahsoka's. I really loved Dooku's, because it was just like his, you know, his responses to how the Jedi flowed and operated and what he was thinking, what he was feeling, was literally like, it was indeed him shifting to the dark side. I really enjoyed it a lot. But I'm about to be out, so be on the lookout. 3/8. Hopefully we start on time. I've been struggling trying to start on time the past 2 weeks with everything, but I should be okay come tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm gonna dive right into episode 9, live streaming watch party. It's gonna be in the background. You just won't see it, but you'll see me in my reactions. I thought hopefully people will be able to show up and just enjoy the episode, watching me react while you're watching it on another device, watching it together. I can't wait for episode 9. And looking forward to seeing what Dedra does. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some more Yularen. Maybe we'll get some more Partagas, more of the ISB. Maybe there'll be a mention of Thrawn. Maybe we'll see a young Agent Kallus. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Interesting to see if Surreal will be coming into the fold or not. And more than likely, we'll see them talking about a plan on how to get Cassian out of the prison that he's on. I don't think he'll be escaping in episode 9. I just think that this is just episode 9 is going to be the build up to them figuring out a plan to get him out. So with that, guys, I'm about to be out. So leave comments in the comments below if you're watching the replay. What did y'all think of episodes 1 through 3 of Tales of the Jedi? Let's talk about some things, and stay safe, stay humble, and remember, the Force will be with you always.